Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the long form story. I'm Niranjan. Tonight, we are back with 4 different stories. Stories that have shaped the week. Stories that we hope will be able to stir up conversations. First up, it's been a busy week for India at the SCO summit. We are leading with that story at 9 p.m. What a victory in Tianjin and what a Saturday it's been. Trump coming around from tirade to a truce. India sending unmistakable signals to Washington. National interest first. And the next story is from Manipur. The state has been at the center of a deepening crisis for more than 2 years now. What started as a local dispute over tribal status escalating into a conflict that has left communities divided along ethnic lines. Closer look at that journey from conflict to recovery. Next up, Madhya Pradesh, where we've uncovered what many believe could be one of the most secretive arms operations in India. For decades, a single family is believed to have manufactured trafficked weapons across state lines, all while remaining under the radar. And from Madhya Pradesh to Mumbai, where Arun Gawli, known as Daddy, built an empire from the shadows, ruling the city's chawls, factories and alleys of Mumbai. Arrests, life sentences didn't stop him. He's back, he's walking free after 18 years. The return of Arun Gawli. Ladies and gentlemen, Tianjin became the center of global attention as world leaders gathered for the SCO summit. India stepped onto the stage in the last 1 week with influence, intent, navigating complex relationships with both Moscow and Beijing while sending unmistakable signals to Washington. The summit revealed shifting alliances, emerging power dynamics in Asia, with long-standing rivalries and strategic partnerships coming into sharp focus. And while Pakistan found itself at the periphery, India clearly defined the next phase of regional influence. And tonight on the long-form story, we take you inside the SCO summit, the interactions, negotiations, and what this new Asian alignment could mean for international diplomacy and global balance of power, especially on a day when Trump has come from tirade to truce on the table. At the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Tianjin, China, the stage belonged to India. India walked in as a heavyweight, balancing Moscow, engaging Beijing, and showing Washington that New Delhi chooses its partners on its terms.
एक्सेलेंसी, यूक्रेन में चल रहे संघर्ष के विषय में हम लगातार चर्चा करते रहे हैं। हाल में किए गए शांति के सभी प्रयासों का हम स्वागत करते हैं। हम आशा करते हैं कि सभी पक्ष कंस्ट्रक्टिवली आगे बढ़ेंगे, संघर्ष को जल्द से जल्द खत्म करने और स्थायी शांति स्थापित करने का रास्ता खोजना होगा। ये पूरी मानवता की पुकार है।
A candid conversation between the three leaders was enough to send ripples through global power corridors. Just weeks ago, Donald Trump raised the heat from energy policy to trade, warning India against deepening its Russia ties.
Prior to the invasion, of Ukraine in February 2022, India bought virtually no Russian oil. I mean, it was like 1% of their needs. So the argument somehow now, as the percentage has gone up to like 30 and 35%, that somehow they need Russian oil to cool their homes or cook or drive their cars is nonsense. Think about India when you think about the tariffs we're putting in place. 25% because they cheat us on trade, 25% because of the Russian oil. It doesn't appear to want to recognize its role in the bloodshed. It simply doesn't. It's cozying up to Xi Jinping is what it's doing. It's not And by the way, I wrote that article in the FT just to deal with the propaganda of the Indian government to make people want to feel sorry for them. Oh, they need the oil. They don't need the oil. It's a refining profiteering scheme. It's a laundromat for the Kremlin. That's the reality of it.
But Tianjin changed the script. Images of Modi, Putin and Xi Jinping sharing stage space, triggering a recalibration in Washington.
I always will. I'll always be friends with Modi. He's great. Prime Minister, he's great. I'll always be friends, but I just don't like what he's doing at this particular moment. But India and the United States have a special relationship. There's nothing to worry about. We just have moments on occasion.
上海合作组织成员国都是朋友和伙伴，要尊重彼此差异，保持战略沟通，凝聚集体共识，加强团结协作，把合作盘子做大，把各国禀赋用好。
As America recalibrated, another message was unfolding thousands of kilometers away in Beijing. Right after the SCO summit, Beijing rolled out its most powerful signal yet. A tightly choreographed display of military strength at the Tiananmen Square, marking 80 years since the end of World War II.
"中国式现代化是走和平发展道路的现代化。中国永远是世界的和平力量、稳定力量。 进步力量。我们真诚希望各国都以史为鉴，以和为贵，共同推进世界现代化，开创人类更加美好的未来。
This also sent a signal on who stood on China's side. In Beijing, Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un stood alongside China's Xi Jinping. The two leaders, Washington struggles to contain, united in a rare display of defiance.
6년 만에 장소기 동지를 만나뵙게 된 그 감회가 정말 새롭습니다. 6년 만에 중국을 방문하면서 눈에 띄게도 중국이 또 몰라보게 변모되고 발전된 것을 깊이 느끼면서 변하지 않은 것은 우리 이번 이 대표단 중국 동지들이 열렬히 환대하고 국진이 환대해주는.
However, there is one leader who wasn't invited into this equation. Pakistan's Shehbaz Sharif arrived in Tianjin hoping for relevance. Instead, he became a spectacle.
Your Excellency, I'd like to also thank you for supporting Pakistan and trying to have a balancing act, I think, in the region. I know, and I must say that we respect your relation with India. That's perfectly fine. But we also want to build very strong relations, and these relations will be supplementary and complementary for the good and for the progress and prosperity of the region. In that, I find in you a very dynamic leader, and I want to assure you that I'd like to work with you very closely.
As Modi, Putin and Xi set the agenda, Shahbaz watched from the sidelines. The Asian axis isn't waiting for the West to catch up, and this new power axis has rattled Washington and served as a cold reminder to Pakistan of where it stands today. And ladies and gentlemen, we are being joined this evening by Ambassador Deepak Vora, who will be joining us live in what has been a fantastic week for India. The Prime Minister making his first visit to China in 7 years, a historic visit. We're at the Shanghai Cooperation Summit, the SCO Summit. He held Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin by their hands. And from last Saturday, last Sunday to this morning, when Donald Trump tweeted in what is being seen as a reach out to our Prime Minister, it's been a huge success for our diplomacy. And as Ambassador Deepak Vora joins us, we also spoke to former Indian Ambassador to the United States, Harshvardhan Shringla. He's also a Rajya Sabha MP. Here's what he said about India's Victory Week. It's been quite a week for Indian diplomacy, and we have someone who served as India's ambassador in both United States and Bangladesh, two critical nations for India. A former IFS officer, a career diplomat, and now a Rajya Sabha MP, Harshvardhan Shringla. Ambassador Shringla, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Niranjan.
Sir, good to see you, and I just want to get your perspective. It's been quite a week, sir, this week. How would you summarize this week?
Well, let me put it this way, that there's no shortage of excitement, and it's been absolutely, quite a roller coaster ride when you look at the sort of developments that have taken place involving our country, but with regard to our interface with major players on the global stage, whether it is Russia, China, or the United States. And in many senses, we've seen, quite a sort of a seesaw situation in terms of the way things have progressed. Let me tell you, from my perspective, I had no doubt that we would be looking at, some way to take our relations with the United States back on track. I think that's what we come down to. The essence of all of this is our relations with the United States. I think the fact that there was a positive message from the Treasury Secretary yesterday, followed by President Trump talking about a special relationship, his connect with Prime Minister Modi, the sort of fact that he has again referred to his friendship with the Prime Minister, that and also saying that he's a great Prime Minister, I think has in many senses set the stage for our relationship to sort of for the window to open up to take our relationship back on track. And Prime Minister Modi, I think, has been responsive. He has also completely agreed with the sentiments expressed by President Trump. He's with regard to the relationship, and I think there is a positive exchange at the highest levels. My own sense is that this connect between Prime Minister Modi and President Trump has always been there. It's not new. Yeah. Even in the last few months, we've seen some ups and downs. But that connect has always been there. President Trump has always prefaced his messages by talking about his good friend, Prime Minister Modi. So from that perspective, this is not different. But what is different is the emphasis on the relationship and the fact that I think both leaders want to see a reversion to that close friendship and going back to that period of sort of a very vibrant relationship that we've always enjoyed in the last couple of decades with the US.
I wanted to get your view on it, just how we've handled this issue very maturely, despite all of those comments.
Well, I think, when you talk about foreign policy, it's also maintaining a certain, trajectory, which is important to sort of keep on track, irrespective of some of the distractions that come your way. And I think a lot of the noise that you heard were really by way of distraction. Some of it was leverage. Some of it was expressing a certain amount of frustration. But at the end of the day, there were distractions to what is a solid relationship, one of the most comprehensive and multifaceted relationships that we have. We have a strong trade relationship. We have an investment relationship, technology, defense, and people-to-people connect. And I think that is something that is difficult to take away. And my take all along has been that, we will come back to that Howdy Modi event, that Namaste Trump moment. And this is what you said. We have gone from, the very close bonhomie of those days. We had a little, a low period, but my own sense is that we are now headed back to the heydays. And, any relationship as extensive as the one we enjoyed with the United States will have its very high and very low points as well. And there will be distractions along the way. I think a mature foreign policy would entail that you keep on track. You don't get distracted. You don't allow yourself to get distracted. And you recognize the importance of your relationship with your principal partners. And I think this is what we have done. We have demonstrated that we have the capacity to withstand some level of, I would say, distractions, provocations, you can call it what you may. We were confident in the ability of our own economy, the Atmanirbharta, move that we are making to develop our own capacities, the fact that we're developing new markets all the time with new free trade agreements, with the countries, including possibly the European Union in a short while. But at the same time, not forgetting that the US is our largest trading partner and that we have a very significant trade surplus with the United States in comparison to many of our other trading partners with whom we don't have that advantage. So I think bringing that relationship back on track is very, very critical for both countries. And I emphasize both countries. It's not a one-way track.
Well, Manipur has been at the center of a deepening crisis for more than 2 years. What started as a local dispute over tribal status has escalated into a conflict that has left hundreds dead, thousands displaced, and communities divided along ethnic lines. From streets scarred by violence to relief camps filled with families seeking safety, impact of the unrest has been felt across the state. The government has intervened, engaging in dialogue and negotiations, but the challenges remain immense. As efforts to restore normalcy now gain momentum, the National Highway 2 has reopened and displaced families are beginning to return home. And tonight, on the long-form story, we take a closer look at the journey from conflict to cautious recovery, the human cost, the political dynamics, and the fragile path toward lasting peace in Manipur.
For over 2 years, Manipur has been burning. What began on May 3, 2023 as a peaceful tribal march against a court order favoring Meitei ST inclusion has unraveled into a bitter, ongoing conflict. Tearing communities apart, claiming lives, and leaving scars that may take generations to heal. Gun violence, arson, and riots have engulfed almost all parts of the state. Retaliatory attacks in the valley districts have opened up a fault line that had been building up for quite some time. Women stripped of dignity. Children gunned down in cold blood. From silence to defiance, mothers now stand guard with fire in their hands. In this war, humiliation has not spared the women of either tribe.
मणिपुर की जो घटना सामने आई है, किसी भी सभ्य समाज के लिए ये शर्मसार करने वाली घटना है। पाप करने वाले, गुनाह करने वाले कितने हैं, कौन है, वो अपनी जगह पे है, लेकिन बेइज्जती पूरे देश की हो रही है। 140 करोड़ देशवासियों को शर्मसार होना पड़ रहा है। मणिपुर की इन बेटियों के साथ जो हुआ है, इसको कभी माफ नहीं किया जा सकता है।
In the 2-year-long conflict, there has been an intense tit-for-tat violence between two ethnic groups, Kukis and Meiteis. At the heart of the conflict is a growing trust deficit between the warring communities. With over 250 people and thousands languishing in relief camps, the center is on an overdrive to bridge the sharp divide between hill and valley. A series of steps have been taken since the imposition of President's rule in the state, with dialogue being the only visible path forward. The centre has a Herculean task of bringing all groups on the negotiating table. After several rounds of talk, a breakthrough was visible this week. A tripartite suspension of operations agreement was signed by the MHA, Manipur government and Kuki organizations. This paved the way for opening up the crucial National Highway 2. The question is, will this be enough? Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to visit Manipur on September 13. This is being viewed as an attempt to achieve enduring peace even as the political slugfest continues.
He has deeply offended the people, the way he has allowed these things to go on, and giving condolence messages to other tragedies and not even uttering a word of condolence for the people of the state. And the fact that all the machinery of the state is in his disposal, he didn't use to stop these violence. So I think if he comes at all, then he should apologize. And I've said this before in a press interview, that the people of Manipur are very magnanimous and they will probably forgive him. He actually apologized.
The Kuki groups insist that they haven't given up on the demands of a separate administration.
We have always been in favor of that kind of, situation, and therefore before 3rd of May, we were asking for autonomy by way of territorial council within the state of Manipur. But you know what happened? We were, clearly the majoritarian run government and the public at large in the valley were against any kind of autonomy for us, and therefore they made that known and felt, not just symbolically but physically. We were chased out, our women were raped, our houses were looted and burned, our churches desecrated. They chased us out. So you have to ask the question you have asked me to the Meiteis and reframe it to say, in the larger interest, allow the Kuki people also, as citizens of India, to have their liberty and to enjoy the constitutional provisions, to be at par with the rest of the country in terms of rights.
For the Meiteis, this too have been a fight for identity, for their land, their rights and their claim to ST status.
जो भी बातचीत कर रहा है, जो भी डिमांड कर रहा है, सभी को बोल करके एक ऑर्डर होना चाहिए. मैतेई भी नेशनल हाईवे में जा सकता है, लिख करके देना चाहिए, वॉइस में नहीं, लिख कर देना चाहिए ऑर्डर करके. नहीं तो हम लोग ऐसा ही बैठे रहेगा, मैतेई ना जाने देगा. तो मैतेई, पांगल, नेपाली सब रिलीजन तो बैठा है, सिर्फ मैतेई नहीं बैठ सकता है, बताया. तो ये नहीं होना चाहिए, इसीलिए हमारा भी हक है, हमारा फंडामेंटल राइट है.
I think the Prime Minister very well knows these regions very well. He knows these states, he knows the people of these states. He's done a lot in terms of development. I think the first thing that the Prime Minister will potentially do is review the situation. It's very important to take stock of what has been happening and the good measures that have been taken to bring the state back to normalcy and in a situation as we see today, which is a situation of peace. I think he's going to review that and he's going to ensure that that is the trajectory that the state moves on. I think the second move that the Prime Minister should take, and obviously, like I said, he knows these states well, is reach out to the logical and the sane voices in the communities in Manipur.
But trauma has seeped into reflexes, etched into daily life. Still, people cling to hope, even as the past bleeds into the present. With the harvest returning, homes rebuilding, and NH2 finally open for the Prime Minister, it is as if Manipur, through the wounds, is healing itself. But the road to lasting peace remains long and uncertain.
Authorities in Madhya Pradesh have uncovered what may be one of the most secretive arms operations in recent history. For decades, a single family is believed to have manufactured and trafficked weapons across state lines, all while remaining under the radar. And today, on the long form story, we take you inside the investigation, how the hidden factories were traced, how the covert networks and the extraordinary scale of this operation unfolded, from remote villages to highly organized smuggling routes. This story exposes how a clandestine empire operated in plain sight and the police efforts that finally brought it to light.
Three generations, one family, and a hidden interstate arms empire, undetected for 40 years. Three generations of Surendra Vishwakarma, the kingpin of the illegal factory, were involved in the illegal arms manufacturing business for the last 40 years.
मध्य प्रदेश के टीकमगढ़ में अवैध आर्म्स फैक्ट्री संचालित हो रही थी और टीकमगढ़ से करीब 50 किलोमीटर दूर रामगढ़ गांव है जहां पर की ये फैक्ट्री संचालित की जा रही थी। और यहां पर आप मेरे पीछे ये देखेंगे वेयर हाउस, खेत के बीचों बीच एक वेयर हाउस बना है जो कि इस अवैध फैक्ट्री में पार्टनर भी है। इस वेयर हाउस में अवैध आर्म्स फैक्ट्री यानी कि इनलीगल गन फैक्ट्री संचालित की जा रही थी।
Bhopal crime branch on Monday uncovered a covert interstate arms network busting two illegal gun factories operating within Tikamgarh. The investigation exposed a highly organized racket with weapons trafficked primarily to Uttar Pradesh, smuggled through Jhansi and nearby towns to meet soaring demand and avoid local scrutiny. Police discovered two clandestine arms manufacturing units, one hidden inside a house in Chanderi village near Kudila police station and another concealed in a remote warehouse in Ramgarh village.
इन्होंने एक नेटवर्क डेवलप किया यूपी का जो सप्लाई का था, जो बिक्री का था, जो बिल्कुल सेपरेट रहता था। ये लोग वेस्टर्न ही थे तो वो पकड़ में आते नहीं थे। और एमपी में चूंकि अगर एक भी पिस्टल पकड़ा जाएगा तो वो लिंक पकड़ के चले जाएंगे, तो इन्होंने इसलिए यूपी में ये बेचते थे।
सर सप्लाई यूपी बिहार में
बिल्कुल ही पीहू, जो व्यक्ति पकड़ा गया वो भी एमपी का नहीं है, वो हथियार भी यूपी झांसी में बेचा गया था।
अब तक इन्होंने कितने अवैध हथियार बनाकर सप्लाई किए होंगे?
एक तरह का अनुमान है हमें, जो लगभग हमारे इनपुट में से 200-250 करीब आर्म्स हैं जो जिसको हम आइडेंटिफाई कर पा रहे हैं, जो आरोपी फरार है उनके पास है। परंतु एवरेज 6-7 हथियार पर महीने बनाना, आप सोचिए 40 साल का काम है, तो ये अंदाजा लगाया जा सकता है, एक अनुमान पे आधारित है।
ये बड़ा सा वेयर हाउस है और बगल वाला ये जो आप घर देख रहे हैं या एक बिल्डिंग देख रहे हैं, इसी में अवैध आर्म्स फैक्ट्री संचालित होती थी, जिसे कि भोपाल क्राइम ब्रांच की टीम ने छापे के बाद सील कर दिया है। ये देखिए, पुलिस ने इस आर्म्स फैक्ट्री को सील कर दिया है और यहाँ जो हथियार बनाने का सामान, उपकरण, लेथ मशीन, सभी चीजें जब्त कर ली हैं और ये फैक्ट्री अब फिलहाल सील है। इसमें अब तक 5 जो आरोपी हैं वो गिरफ्तार हो चुके हैं और करीब 6 आरोपी जो हैं वो भी फरार हैं, जिनकी की तलाश की जा रही है।
But how did this family manage to run an illegal arms factory for 40 years without anyone noticing? Behind the cover of tractor parts and farm tools, lathe machine churned out gun parts. Every component was made in-house, cheaper, quieter, untraceable.
अब तक 1000 से ज़्यादा हथियार बनाए जा चुके हैं और इन हथियारों को बनाने के लिए इस तरह का ये जो मटेरियल है, ये जो पाइप देख रहे हैं, इन पाइपों का इस्तेमाल होता है। इसके अलावा ये जो लोहा जितना भी है, जो कबाड़ से ये लोग खरीदते थे, इन सब चीज़ों का इस्तेमाल वेपन्स बनाने में, हथियार बनाने में किया जाता था। क्योंकि बाहर से फैक्ट्री को सील के ये पहले तो आप ये पाइप देखिए, ये सभी जो पाइप होते हैं, ये हथियार जब बनता है तो उसमें जो नाल होती है उसको बनाने के लिए इस तरह के पाइप का इस्तेमाल किया जाता है, जो कि यहाँ पर हैं।
Police say the entire operation stayed within one family across 3 generations. No outsiders, no leaks. Just decades of silent, systematic weapon making, hidden in plain sight.
ये रामगढ़ का ग्राम पंचायत का दफ्तर है और इसके बगल से सटा हुआ खेत, और खेत के बीच में वेयर हाउस, और इस वेयर हाउस में कोई आ जा ना सके, इसके लिए इस वेयर हाउस को पूरी तरह से बाहर इस गेट को बंद रखा जाता था। अंदर से देखिए पाइप लगाया है, यहाँ से भी ना कोई घुस सके, इसके लिए इस तरह से इसे ब्लॉक किया हुआ है। और इस वेयर हाउस के सामने ही स्थानीय लोग, जो आदिवासी लोग हैं, वो भी रहते हैं। उनको इस फैक्ट्री की भनक तक नहीं थी।
Why Ramgarh? A village 45 kilometers from Tikamgarh. Quiet, remote, perfect cover. Inside a field-side warehouse, weapons were made under the guise of farm equipment. The kingpin, Surendra Vishwakarma, rented it from Narendra Singh Parmar, now missing and believed to be a partner. Ask the villagers what was happening inside. We don't know, they all say.
पता यहाँ क्या चलता है? नहीं चलता। चलिए, और इस स्थानीय गांव के लोग हैं, उनसे मैं पूछता हूँ कि उनको कुछ। दीदी, एक सवाल का जवाब आपसे लेंगे। यहाँ पर आप देख रहे हैं पुलिस की टीम आई थी, एक अवैध फैक्ट्री पकड़ाई। आप यहाँ कब से रह रहे हैं?
रहता जिस सामान रहता ही। अच्छा। लेकिन जो नहीं है पता कि अंदर का है।
कुछ भनक नहीं लगती थी? कोई आता जाता संदिग्ध दिखता था?
कुछ नहीं।
ये फार्म हाउस पे जो वेयर हाउस है, उसमें क्या हो रहा था, पता था आपको? नहीं। आप बताओ भैया, कुछ जानकारी थी इस चीज की कि यहाँ पे एक अवैध हथियार की फैक्ट्री चल रही है?
नहीं भैया, नहीं।
तो किसका फार्म हाउस था? एक वेयर हाउस था।
हमें नहीं थी सर जानकारी, हम तो बाहर के जतारा की।
अच्छा, जतारा में ही तो आता है
सर, लेकिन हमें नहीं पता, हम तो कबाड़ा खरीद।
आप बताओ भैया, यहाँ पर
हम तो रिश्तेदार हैं।
आप कोई कुछ देखिए बोल नहीं रहा है, या इन्हें पता नहीं है, ये बताना नहीं चाह रहे, अपनी जगह है। लेकिन स्थानीय लोगों से हमने बात की, सब यही कह रहे हैं कि उन्हें इस चीज़ की भनक नहीं थी।
हमारी करीब 5-6 टीमें वहाँ गई, हम लोगों ने प्लान तरीके से काम किया और इसके घर पे और जितने भी जगह हो सकती थी जहाँ पे इसका फार्म हाउस था, वहाँ पे हम लोगों ने रेड करा। तो दोनों जगह लगभग 4-5 लेथ मशीनें मिली, लेथ मशीन, कटर मिले, जो भी उपकरण होते हैं जिससे कि आयरन को मॉडिफाइड किया जाए, उसका शेप बदला जाए, और पिस्टल जो बनाने के लिए पूरा जो भी बिल्डिंग वेल्डिंग सब सामग्री थी। मटेरियल इतना था कि हज़ारों पिस्टलें बना सकते हैं ये। इसके अलावा जब ये आरोपी पहले सुरेंद्र जेल में था, जनवरी में जेल से छूटा 7 साल की सज़ा काट कर, तो इसके पहले इसका बेटा भी, वो भी जेल गया था, हथियार में पकड़ा गया था। और इसका पिता आनंदी, जो बचपन से 40 साल करीब से ये लेथ मशीन पे काम कर रहा था।
अभी तक लगभग 1000 हथियार ये लोग 40 साल में बना चुके हैं और उनकी सप्लाई कर चुके हैं। एक हथियार की कीमत 15,000 से लेकर 40,000 तक होती थी और इसी फैक्ट्री का भंडाफोड़ हुआ है। अब इसके इंटरस्टेट लिंक तलाशने के लिए पुलिस टीम लगातार इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रही है। कैमरामैन संजय अंकिल के साथ सत्यवेद सिंह, रिपब्लिक मीडिया नेटवर्क, टीकमगढ़।
He's a mill worker turned mafia boss, Arun Gawli. who once took on Dawood Ibrahim in Mumbai and called himself a Hindu Don. He's returned from jail this week to his home in Mumbai's Gawli Chawl, and this has happened in the last few days. He's out on bail, granted by Supreme Court with very tough conditions. But unlike his usual bombastic self, Arun Gawli quite reticent when Republic TV's Meenakshi caught up with him in Mumbai this week.
"18 years is a tad too long a wait for bail. But it helps when municipal elections in Mumbai are close. Gangsters are back in demand, it seems, and Arun Gawli, once underworld Don Dawood Ibrahim's nemesis in Mumbai, walked out of Nagpur Central Jail with a bail from the Apex Court on Wednesday. His dreaded gang, now comprising a mere ragtag bunch of aging men like him, were right there to escort the man they call Daddy back to the once dreaded Gawli Chawl of Mumbai.
Once feared the fortress of Mumbai underworld, Gawli Chawl is back in the spotlight as its famous resident Arun Gawli, better known as Daddy, returned this week after spending 18 years in Nagpur Central Jail.
On Friday, Gawli met Republic's Meenakshi at his old tenement Gawli Chawl, his home for nearly 70 years in Mumbai's crowded working-class area of Baikala. He walked around the area to sounds of firecrackers that would remind many of the gunshots that often emerged from this Gawli Chawl once. Relaxing on a sofa with his wife and granddaughter, Gawli made plans for the ongoing Ganesh Chaturthi with his family. It was inside a sofa like this that he had hidden for hours when 60 policemen had raided the Gawli Chawl to arrest him in June 1990 for a brutal murder. The cops had to wrench open the sofa's mattresses and plyboard to yank him out of a small cavity where he had been hidden by his wife Asha. This week, Mr. and Mrs. Gawli sat together on another sofa, recounting the past and looking forward to a cleaner future.
अपना भूतकाल है ना, भूतकाल को भूलना मांगता, नहीं तो क्या मालूम है, अपन भूतकाल सोचेगा तो आपको अच्छे बुरे का याद आएगा, उससे अपना मन स्वस्थ नहीं रहेगा, इसलिए उस पर अपन ख्याल नहीं करते भूतकाल का। अभी वर्तमान में अपन क्या करना मांगता है यानी अपने को क्या हासिल करना है, इसके बारे में सोचता हूँ।
He was once a close aide of Balasaheb Thackeray, but fell out with Shiva Sena later. Even murdered a Shiva Sena corporator among many others before he was packed off to jail in 2007. He launched a political party in the middle of all of this, which played footsie with both BJP and Uddhav's Sena. He has fought and won an election and then lost again. Life has been a true roller coaster for Arun Gawli. Underworld Don turned social worker, turned MLA, turned jailbird, and now out on bail for some serious power play in the rough and tumble of Mumbai's political corridors. But he says he wants to do penance and forget his past.
अभी मेरे सामने है कि अपने संसार में रहना, प्रपंच करके परमात्मा के पास जाना, ये मेरा अभी उद्देश्य है.
While he was away in jail, his daughter Geeta Gawli became the custodian of the political party Gawli had floated to fight elections for a seat at the Maharashtra Assembly. He had won and become an MLA for a term. Later, when he went to jail, Geeta had taken over his Akhil Bharatiya Sena and has been in some kind of a loosely tied relationship with the Bharatiya Janata Party. She is now a corporator at the BMC, the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation. Now out on bail, Gawli is for some serious power play, but he is keeping his cards close to his chest.
अभी पॉलिटिक्स से कुछ संबंध नहीं. अभी मैं पॉलिटिक्स में मेरा इतना इंटरेस्ट भी नहीं रहा. अभी जो पॉलिटिकल करने का टाइम था वो निकल गया. अभी कोई इतना मेरे को इंटरेस्ट नहीं ले रहा. अभी मेरे बच्चे के बच्चे हैं, उनको थोड़ा टाइम देना, उनकी खुशी लेना उनसे, ये मेरा भी हेतु है.
राजनीतिक जो कारोबारी है वो बोल रहे हैं कि बीएमसी इलेक्शन आ रहा है, तो आपका इतना पॉपुलैरिटी है, आप फिर मैदान में क्या उतरोगे, ऐसा बात चल रहा है. उससे उसका
कुछ नहीं सही बोलता मैं तुमको. हम लोग इतना क्या इलेक्शन में उतरने वाले नहीं. मेरी बेटी तो उसका एक वार्ड है उधर, वो खड़ा रहती है. बाकी ऐसा तुम बोलोगे बम्बई या ऐसा कुछ नहीं. यानी बम्बई म्यूनसिपालिटी काबिज करना ये भी हमारा उद्देश्य नहीं है.
There was a time when Arun Gawli's name was enough to frighten the toughest of Mumbai, don or politician. He was by Balasaheb Thackeray's side for a long while, led the typical underworld thug life, rubbing shoulders with those who matter. There was a fallout later. And then came the murder of Shiva Sena corporator. Gawli wants to forget that past now.
हमको खाली अभी शांति के एक जेल से इतने साल से छूटेले आदमी का ख्वाहिश बहुत छोटी रहेगी कि अपने बाल बच्चे भी, बेटे के बच्चे मेरे घर में बेटे, भगवान का चिंतन करें. अभी मौत भी नज़दीक आ रही है, उम्र मेरा 75 है. कल भगवान का चिंतन करेगा तो अपने को अपना आत्मा का उद्धार होएगा, अपने को अच्छा गति मिलेगा.
Gawli returned home this Wednesday as Mumbai brought Ganpati home on Ganesh Chaturthi. The dreaded Dagri Chawl of Baikala, an old tenement that could house up to 300 mill workers at a time, is no more the underworld fortress it used to be in the 80s. The guns are gone. Families, one-time mafia dons, now live here. Though many have moved out, whoever hasn't was there in the central square on Wednesday to welcome Gawli and Ganpati home at the Dagri Chawls. It is here at the square Gawli's men had brutally killed a local and neighbor in 1983. The man had dared to pick up a fight with him once. Even police avoided entering Dagri Chawl in those days. Gawli's eventual arrest was a super secret operation, as here in these tenements it was impossible to find him. He had secret stairs and tunnels running under the chawls. After a long cat and mouse game and many short jail terms, the courts had pronounced life sentence for him.
तो ये राजनीति पहले से ही षड्यंत्र चलाती रहती है, हमेशा किसी को दबाना देखना, किसी पे झूठा आरोप डालना और वो लोगों की ज़िंदगी बर्बाद करना। ये नहीं सोचती कि उसका घर है, उसके बच्चे हैं, तो ये झूठा करके पूरा हमारा लाइफ ख़राब कर दिए। मैं बोली ना, 18 साल बहुत बड़ी बात होती है। हमारा बच्चा जब पैदा होता तो 18 साल का होता है, तो वो उसकी जवानी होती है, तो हम उम्र में ही हमारा और बुढ़ापा आ रहा है नज़दीक, तो गलत किए। और ऊपर वाला हर इंसान को उसका ये भोगना पड़ेगा, कर्म भोगना पड़ेगा ज़रूर। ये तो हमारे आंसू है कि मेरा दुख है, मेरा दिल जला है, हम मर के जिए हैं, बहुत तकलीफ में, तो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए था।
Is Arun Gawli back to use his influence and muscle power in the upcoming and bitterly fought municipal elections of Mumbai? Is he getting back to doing the dirty tricks at the bidding of Mumbai's political dawn? Time will tell.
From underworld dawn to politician, from daddy to prisoner and back, Arun Gawli's story remains inseparable from Dagri Chawl. In Mumbai, the fortress may have faded, but its legend continues still now.
That's it on this edition of the Long Form Story. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying with us on this show. In case you missed it, you can catch the repeat tomorrow on Republic. Thanks for watching.
I would like your take on the Russia oil import. I know the foreign minister has commented on it, but it's a matter that concerns your ministry as well greatly. Do you believe it's necessary? And is it an economic decision or a diplomatic decision?
Economic or diplomatic decisions are for the country to take. Where I purchase anything, oil or anything else, from is our country's decision, our leadership's decision. And those decisions are not taken if it's going to hurt our economy. It's not done in stealth. No. Everybody knew about it. And the products of the refining from this crude have been purchased by everybody.
Including Ukraine, including Europe.
And therefore, I feel it's a sad day that we are being singled out on that.
At just 38 years, he became the youngest senior advocate in the history of the Madras High Court. From earning his first salary of 350 rupees to fighting one of India's earliest medical malpractice suits, his is a journey of grit and brilliance. Meet the man who shaped the law and lived it. Senior advocate C.A. Sundaram in a rare and candid conversation on the legal side of things. This weekend, only on Republic TV.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला, क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे। आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा, मसाला।
भारत की अपनी दुकान, इंडिया सोना,
अपने देश का सामान,
इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना। MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च। मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी, MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप, जीरा सिप, MDH का जल जीरा सिप, जीरा सिप, MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
Today, a coward decided to take our 8-year-old son Fletcher away from us. Because of their actions,